Okay, it's been a while since I did a tutorial, but I'm back. I'm hoping to do them more frequently now that summer has started. Anyways, in this tutorial I'm going to be talking more about switch statements, finishing up some things, but the main topic about this video is scope and about blocks. So here I just wrote out a program. It's only going to have the IO stream included, namespace std int main. We're creating an integer variable called choice, and then we're using a do while loop. So you have do up here, and then while down here. And some cout statements. Choose 1 for the next homework assignment, choose 2 for your grade on the last assignment, choose 3 for the assignment hints, choose 4 to exit the program, enter your choice, and then it reads in the choice with C in. And then, once the choice is read in, a switch statement is used to compare that choice to different cases. So if they entered a 1, then they would see the next homework assignment. If they entered a 2, it would show the grade for the last homework assignment. If they entered a 3, it would show a hint for the next assignment. If it entered a 4, it would end the program. And anything else, I forget if I showed this to you in the last video. For switch statements, you can also have a default case, which is just default and colon, and then anything else in there that you want to put. That will be shown, or that will be executed if none of the cases are what the value of choice is. Now I'm not going to run this program because there's no code to execute for any of the cases. This is just an example. We're just going to talk about it right now. And then you have finally the while at the end of your do loop. Completing the do while loop that compares choice to the integer value 4 and return 0 to end the program. So that's the default case with, I talked about default case with switch statements. You've got your breaks depending on the case. Let's see. Oh yes, scope. So variables, depending on where you declare and initialize variables, they have a scope. So what is scope? Scope is the places in which the variable exists. So here I declared an integer variable choice, right? And choice has basically a scope within your main function here. So anywhere in main, choice can be used. However, if I declared choice inside my do while loop, or if I declared choice inside my switch statement and I tried to use it outside of my switch statement or outside of my do while loop, I would not be able to use choice. Okay, so it's very important that choice is declared outside of any blocks, and that's another thing I want to talk about is blocks. So blocks are just chunks of code within curly brackets. So here you have a do while loop, and after do you have curly bracket, here's the ending curly bracket, and all of this is a block, the do while block. This also, that was my phone. This also works for switch statements. So here you have curly brackets, and for the switch statement, here the curly bracket ends the switch statement. This whole thing is a block. And Xcode is really nice about visualizing, helping you see the blocks. So if you notice over here on the left, the bar, it gets shaded and shaded as we get more nested inside of blocks. So if you hover over one bar, it'll show you actually the do block. If you hover over this darker region, it'll show you the switch statement block. So those are blocks. Again, going back to scope of variable scopes. If I were to, let's just cut and paste that into the switch statement, you'll notice that I'm getting errors, and that's because I'm using choice when it hasn't been declared prior. So I need to declare it prior to whenever I use it. Of course, that's common knowledge, but ignore those warnings for now. What I'm trying to get at is that choice, if declared here, would only work inside this case. Well, it would work inside this case and all the cases afterwards. But outside of this switch statement block choice, if you tried to use it down here, you would get an error because it hasn't been declared outside of the switch loop or even outside of the do while loop. So that's about scope, blocks, and the default